Hi and welcome or welcome back to the Books Are Everywhere. So somebody is cutting a tree down outside, so please ignore any background noise. But anyway, it is Monday. Welcome to another weekly reading vlog. So I am currently reading 3 books. It is the last day of the month and I want to finish 2 of them today. One of which I only have like 50 pages left and the other I have like 300 pages left, which is this one. So I'm just going to take you through what I'm currently reading and then kind of plans for this week and things like that. I am currently reading The Poppy War. I am further along than this, I just haven't moved my bookmark right now. Let's see how far we are actually into the book. So I'm actually here, so I'm well over halfway through, so I'm definitely ahead of my buddy read with this one because I am buddy reading this and we are hopefully finishing it on Sunday, so I should be around halfway through and I'm definitely ahead. I find it hard to keep track with audiobooks because I tend to just listen to them whenever I'm driving and things like that. But anyway, really enjoying this one. Definitely had a very strong start and immediately I thought this is going to be 5 stars for me. It starts off following Rin, who is basically trying to get out of this situation that she's been put in by her parents, her foster parents, where they want her to be married. She doesn't want to be married, she doesn't want to be forced into that kind of life, so she basically works herself incredibly hard and gets into this magical academy where she is kind of seen as a peasant from the south and she's in the less rural, so she's in like I think it's the capital city in the north in Sinigard, which is this magical academy, and then things kind of start going from there. I fully expected when I started this book and we got to Sinigard that it would basically follow her in the first year of her time at Sinigard, and we have gone way past that in this book, way past that, and we are now very much in like a war zone, which I'm trying to think if I'm spoiling things by telling you this. I don't think I am. It does say that the third Poppy War is just a spark away and we are kind of in that the midst of that now, which I'm still really enjoying, but it's definitely got a little more political than I would like. It's more what I actually expected from this book, but when I first started it and it was following her in this like magic academy and there was more discussions of her kind of day-to-day life and the struggles that she was facing being a woman, being a girl from the south, being kind of not expected to be in the place that she was, I was really loving reading about that. And I think having been thrown into this kind of political warfare environment is not really as much for me. So I am still really enjoying this book and I'm really glad that I'm finally reading this series, but I definitely enjoyed the first kind of half of the book more than I am the second half, but there is a lot more of the series to come and I am still really enjoying it. I just don't know if it's going to quite be a 5 stars anymore. I think it might be a 4.5, but we will see because I will definitely wrap this up in this vlog. And then I'm also reading The Song of Achilles, which I won't talk too much about because I feel like I talked about this one at length at the end of last week's vlog, but I'm having very mixed feelings about it. Don't feel like I need to really tell you the story. It is between Patroclus and Achilles. It is a romance and it's set before the Battle of Troy. And I am not really a big reader of Greek mythology and I don't really know a lot about Greek mythology, so I don't know how much that is hindering my enjoyment of this book. But I have been finding it super easy to read. I don't think you really do need a background knowledge of Greek mythology because it is very much, and it does start off as kind of like a day-to-day romance. Like a slice of life kind of romance. But again, with this book, we've ended up kind of in warfare, like political warfare, and that is what's kind of turning me off. I am not really enjoying it as much as I was. I have 50 pages to go and I'm going to finish this today, so prepare to see me cry because I know it's going to get real sad. But yeah, I don't know how I feel about this, and that is making me sad because I really wanted to love this. I know so many people do love this, and I did really enjoy the first half and I had such high hopes for the rest of it. And then yeah, I am not enjoying it as much as we go on, but we will see when I actually finish this one later today how I feel about this. But I am also reading More Than This by Patrick Ness, which has been on my TBR for literally years. Like I have it signed and dated from like 2017. and I reckon I've had this book like 2 years longer than that or something, and I can't believe I haven't read this before. I don't know why it's intimidated me so much. Like, it is quite chunky, but it is so easy to read. The chapters are so short. I am flying through it. It's very, very intriguing. I'm actually enjoying this a lot more than I expected, which is nice. It follows Seth, who has drowned and is like kind of woken up in this like what he thinks of as the afterlife. He thinks it's his hell. I don't know what it is. I have not found out yet in this book, but I'm very excited to find out more. And it kind of goes between him discovering this world where he's in this abandoned London that he used to live in as a child, and also reflecting on some traumatic things that he went through. This is quite traumatic. It does talk about a lot of things that are very difficult. I would say there's a trigger warning for suicide, although it's not explicitly said. I would say definitely beware if you are going into this, because I definitely feel like it is a hard read. But it basically is told between his point of view now on his own in this world and flashbacks, and I just can't believe that I'm like nearly halfway, kind of third maybe, and I've not really seen Seth interact with anybody other than in these few flashbacks that have been shown. And I feel like Patrick Ness kind of has a real skill in writing when there's literally just one character and keeping you interested. Definitely feel like things need to happen soon. Like, I feel like I don't know what's going to fill the rest of this book, but we will see. I want to finish this today. Don't know if I can, because as you can see I have quite a lot of it left, but it is incredibly fast. I've already read 70 pages today, so you never know. I will update you as the day goes on, because I don't have too much I need to do today. I've kind of set it aside mostly for reading, so I will see where we go with this, and hopefully I'll get a lot read. And yeah, I will update you soon with how I'm finding both this and Song of Achilles at some point today. Hopefully we can finish both of them. Wish me luck. So it's about 3 or 4 hours since I last updated you, and I finished more than this. I've read like nearly 400 pages of this today, 375 I think, 378 to be precise, and I actually really enjoyed this. I don't think it's a 5-star, I think it's a 4-star, because it's not like a new favourite, which I'm trying to reserve 5 stars for, but honestly was a lot better than I expected. I don't know what I expected this one to be, but it was very much a kind of post-apocalyptic dystopian world. Very interesting. I honestly thought that it might go the exact same way as You and Me at the End of the World did, in terms of like why they were in the situation they were in, but it didn't. It went very different to that, and I actually quite liked the way it did. It felt very kind of like sci-fi esque. It had some interesting kind of discussions about morals and about friendship and family and love, which I actually really liked reading about. And yeah, there was just a lot in here that I actually quite liked. I'm not sure how I feel about the ending. I don't know if it's necessarily what I'd have chosen, but I feel like with these kind of books it's very hard to pinpoint what you would want the ending to be. I feel like it just feels, when you actually get to the end, you know whether that's right or not, and I feel like for this one I'm not sure if it was the exact ending I wanted, whereas for You and Me at the End of the World I actually quite liked the way it ended. It was one of my favourite things about the book, because I was a bit concerned with this one and with that one where they were going, but I feel like it was done very well. I liked a lot of the elements of it. As I said, I don't think it's a 5-star, but I'm glad I finally read this after having it for so many years. So yeah, glad that I picked this out. Glad that I picked this out for my February TBR on my January TBR on TBR Mini Golf, because it's made me finally read this book after it being on my shelves for so many years, and it actually turned out to be pretty damn good. So very happy with that. I haven't read any of, where is it? The Song of Achilles, which is here. That way. I haven't read any of this today, but I will be definitely finishing it today, even if it is later tonight, because I usually always read before bed. So we will see, and I will try and update you about this when I finish it. If not, I will tomorrow. But yes, I'm nervous, but I will update you when I've actually finished it. Hi, it is, what day is it? Tuesday. It's Tuesday. Gosh, we're only 2 days into the vlog and I don't know what day it is. But anyway, it's Tuesday. White Rabbits, it's February, it's the first day of February, and I finished a book last night. I finished The Song of Achilles, and I haven't talked to you guys about this, but it matches my jumper. Anyway, I have very, very mixed opinions. I did not cry, it did not break my heart like everybody says it will. It didn't really make me that emotional. I don't know, maybe I'm just a soulless shell of a person, but I just didn't really connect to the characters in the way that I wanted to. Like, I liked the writing and I really liked the kind of slice of life aspect of it, but I just didn't really connect with the characters. And I think that's why I didn't cry, because I just didn't really. I liked Patroclus a lot more than I liked Achilles. I feel like Achilles was very kind of like stuck up and selfish. And I think maybe that's another reason why I didn't really feel that emotional. But I did like Patroclus a lot more. But I don't know, there was just a lot of mixed opinions about this book. Like, I liked the writing and I liked the fact it was like a slice of life romance in this kind of Greek setting, but I didn't really like much more than that, and I didn't really like the way it talked about like war and warfare and political warfare and things like that. And also talking to Jo, who I buddy read this with, me and Jo and Alex buddy read this, Jo also made a very good point about how she didn't like how women were treated in this book, which I think is a very fair point. And like she said, there is obviously a lot of kind of historical setting, so historical background of Greek mythology in this, and obviously some of that is going to be taken from Greek mythology and the way that women were treated in Greek mythology. But I also felt like there was this like token thing that was going on with this. Like, there was a couple of women who felt to me like token women that were just treated completely differently, and it just, for me, like all comes back to this kind of like idea of like, well, if it's your sister, or if it's your mother, or if it's your daughter who's being treated a certain way, then you're going to care, but if it's like literally another woman, then you don't. And that's kind of like how it felt. Like, they just picked these like couple of women to be their like women that they cared about, and then the rest of them, it was just like, okay, good luck. And I just it doesn't really sit comfortably with me, and I think I'm glad that that's something that Jo picked up on as well, because it kind of brought out how I really feel about this. But yeah, there was definitely some problems that I couldn't really get over, but I definitely want to reread this in the future, and I'm going to keep it. I'm going to keep my copies because I would like to reread it. Especially, I would like to reread it when I know more about Greek mythology, because at the moment I don't really know a lot about Greek mythology, and I think maybe having a bit more background would improve the experience, but I don't really know. I don't know. I can see why people love it, but I'm not one of those people. I gave it 3.5 out of 5 stars. And then I also have Twin Crowns to start today. You can see the green a bit more in this light. But yeah, I've just got this one to start today, and I actually read like 5 pages last night just for the sake of starting this book. I don't really know why. But this one is going to be the first one that I read off my February TBR. I'm excited to read this one. It comes out in May, and it's basically about these 2 estranged sisters who are, one of them has been brought up as royalty and one has been brought up by witches, and they are twins, I believe, and then their kind of worlds kind of start intertwining again, I think. So very much looking forward to this one. It comes out on the 12th of May, and this is the beautiful proof copy that was sent to me by Electric Monkey. Yeah, Electric Monkey are the publishers of this book, so thank you to them for sending me this absolutely stunning copy, and I'm very excited to see how I feel about this book. So yeah, I'm going to read more of this in the rest of this vlog, and then I don't know what I'm going to read after this, but I also think this one might take me a while to read because it is quite chunky, and I always find that I rush so much at the end of the month to finish the books I was reading in that month that I start the next month off a bit slower to just kind of compensate. So that might be what happens with this one. And I will also finish The Poppy War this week, so I'm going to read a bit more of that later on audiobooks. I'm going to drive to Marks later, so I will read a bit more of that today. But anyway, I'm going to head off now because I really need to do some dissertation work today. That is kind of some of my goal of today, so I'm going to do that and try and ease myself back into it after having a few days off that wasn't really planned. And yeah, I will speak to you soon. Hi, I am at work. Oh my god, this lighting is awful. But anyway, it is Friday. Sorry I haven't updated you guys in a few days. But yeah, I was at work on Wednesday and then me and Mark went out yesterday to the Air Museum, which was really nice, and saw a lot of planes. And then yeah, I'm at work the next 3 days, including today, and then I'm back at uni next week. So yeah, everything's a go at the moment. But yeah, I'm at work. I'm just on my break, so I thought I'd show you some books that I have and how I'm doing with Twin Crowns, which is the main book I'm reading at the moment, other than The Poppy War, which I'm really enjoying still, but I'm also like slightly disappointed about it after the first bit, because the first bit was just so good and what I wanted but didn't expect. And now I feel like we're more into what I expected, which is still good. It's still like a 4.5 or 4 stars, but it's not 5, and I thought I was going to get my first 5-star of the year, and I don't think it's going to be a 5-star. But anyway, I am still really enjoying it, and I'm listening to the audiobook, which is taking a lot of concentration as well, but I'm trying to listen while driving, and I've listened to a big chunk of it today, and sometimes I find with audio that I'm fine for a bit and then I just kind of start switching off after a bit, so I have to be careful to make sure I'm taking it all in. But yeah, I'm also reading Twin Crowns. I feel like I've read quite a chunk. Like when I've been sitting down to read this, I've been reading quite a lot of it in one go, which I'm very happy with. And I'm really enjoying this. It's different how I expected, I think, because it does look quite thick, and this is the proof copy, so I'm not sure how the finished one will look. But yeah, because it's quite thick, I was a little daunted by it, but it's actually very YA, and I'm not mad about it. Like, I feel like it's kind of what I want at the moment. And it's just a nice kind of relief from reading like adult. I feel like I've read a lot of adult fantasy recently, so reading something that comes across and reads as very YA, I am actually really happy about. It's a very easy read. I think I've just told you guys what this is about already, but very briefly, it's about two sisters who are separated at birth. One's a princess and one has been she's been brought up by witches, and she was kind of stolen from the palace at birth. And then they swap lives, essentially. One of them infiltrates the castle and swaps lives with the other one. And it's just really interesting so far. I really like it. It's really good. I really like the writing. It's really easy to read. Somebody actually does say on the back that I read somewhere, maybe it wasn't on the back or in the book, but I read somewhere that it's kind of similar to The Selection, and it's not, but I can kind of see. Like, The Selection for me was trash, but like the best kind of trash, and I really liked the first 3 books, and then the first 2 were just like no. Whereas I can kind of see where they're coming from in terms of like the writing is very easy to read, and it's just very enjoyable and very quick, and it kind of, I guess, rude. And it kind of, I guess, does feel like a guilty pleasure in that sense. But yeah, I'm just really enjoying it. The chapters are quite short. It's very easy to read. The writing's great. I'm glad I picked it up. And yeah, I also have received a proof copy, and I have received another proof, but I'll tell you about that when I actually have it with me, because it's in my car. But I received a proof copy of Golden Boys by Phil Stamper. This is the second proof copy I've had from Phil Stamper, and I still haven't read the other one. I have, which is as far as you'll take me, but I really want to read some of their books, and I just absolutely love this cover. I just really like the design of this cover and the spine. I think it's really pretty. And this has quite a brief synopsis, so I'll just read you the back, and it says, Gabrielle, Reese, Sal and Heath are best friends. When you grow up in the middle of nowhere, being queer and having big dreams will bond you for life. This summer, for the first time, they'll get to follow their dreams, but they'll be doing it apart. It's time to discover who they are and who they really want to be. Will the distance divide them or draw them even closer? Yeah, I feel like this is kind of actually what I fancy reading at the moment, but I have so much on my TBR that I probably won't be reading this anytime soon. But I really like this cover, and it sounds really good, and I really want to read from Phil Stamper sometime soon, so I have another book by them now. And I also have a book that I bought, which is Poirot's Christmas, and this is the last one in my Agatha Christie set, I believe. That I've got one coming on order, so you'll probably see that like later on today. But yeah, this is one of the last ones I need, and then I'm waiting on Death of the Nile. And then my Agatha Christie set is complete, which I'm very excited about. As you can probably tell, probably won't read this until later in the year when it's actually Christmas. And there is a few in that set that are like Christmas or winter, so I'm probably gonna read the others earlier in the year, and then read the winter Christmas ones later in the year, in like December, November, December. So very excited to finally have that set, very much almost complete. But yeah, I'm gonna get back to work soon, but I thought I'd better update you because it's been a few days, and I'm enjoying what I'm reading. I have some pretty books I'm very grateful for, and so I just wanted to show you. But yeah, thank you to Bloomsbury for sending me this copy, because very excited to read it, and I promise I will soon. But I'm gonna head off and I'll speak to you soon. Hi, it is later the same day, so it's still Friday, but I thought I would just drop in and show you the books that I've got. I've also got some book mail here that I've just come home to, so I'm gonna show you that. But also I wanted to briefly mention The Poppy War, which I didn't say earlier, but I'm most of the way through this, 24 chapters in, so I'm definitely further on than where my bookmark is right now. But I just wanted to say that there is definitely a lot of trigger warnings for this book. Just trying to find out where I am in the book. So I'm here, and yeah, there is a lot of trigger warnings. So from the start, from what I can remember, self-harm, which I may have mentioned before, definitely is prevalent at the start. And then as you go through the story, there is some discussions of a method of contraception that involves having ovaries like burned out. So there's that to be aware of. There's also rape, sexual assault, genocide, violence, physical and verbal abuse, general war. Yeah, some very dark stuff in this book. I think it's handled quite well, but I also think there was a particular scene with sexual violence that was a little bit, yeah, it made me flinch a little. Like, I was listening to it and the main character actually said, like, I wish I could not listen to this, or I could not, like, I wish she'd stop talking, basically. And it just carried on, and I was like, please stop talking, please stop telling me this, because it is very kind of violent and graphic. So a lot of warnings for this book, but I am really enjoying it still. And it's so weird when you say, like, it's got these so many trigger warnings, but I do feel like a lot of them are dealt with quite well. There's also racism prevalent in here as well, by the way. I do feel like a lot of it is handled quite well and brings up some very important discussions, especially the scenes with Rin deciding to have that done to her ovaries. I feel like that's handled quite well. I feel like the racial abuse is handled quite well as well, and the discussions of the class divide is handled really well. And a lot of the kind of like the genocide stuff I feel like is handled quite well for the most part, but it is still quite disturbing to read about. So be aware going into this one that there is a lot of trigger warnings. And if you want to find a full list online, I would recommend doing so if you are concerned about any of those things. But anyway, I have a few books I want to show you and unwrap. So I do know what this one is because I have actually unboxed it already. But this one went to my work and I can't get it out of the packet anymore. And this is a beautiful Finnish hardback of The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea by Axio. And this was sent to me by the publishing company. So thank you so much to Hodder for this one. I was so excited for us to receive this because I cannot wait for this book. It is Axio's newest release. It comes out on the 22nd of February, I believe. And it is about a girl who falls beneath the ocean. There is a lot more to it than that, but I won't read it all out because the synopsis is very long and I struggle to put it into words. And I'm struggling to get my words out anyway, but I absolutely love Axio's writing. I read XOXO last year and I absolutely loved it, so very excited to get onto this one. It also looks absolutely stunning under the dust jacket on the spine. I just absolutely love. So yeah, very excited for this. Thank you so much to Hodder for this one. Sad that I missed out on the paper proofs because they were so gorgeous, the paperback ones, but this is very pretty as well. So thank you to the publishing company for this one. I am very excited to hopefully read it very soon. And then I also have this one from Blackwell's that I've come home to. So I'm going to unbox this one. It looks like it's already trying to open itself anyway. So I actually mentioned this earlier, but the copy that I'm missing in my Agatha Christie collection is Death on the Nile. And annoyingly, I bought this from Blackwell's, and a day later it actually came into work because I didn't think it was going to come into work and we didn't have stock of it. And I didn't think it was going to arrive. And it had been a few weeks since I'd ordered it, so I decided to get it from Blackwell's, and then it arrived the next day. But oh well. I'm going to keep this because I just paid with it with a book token that my brother got me for Christmas anyway. So this completes my Agatha Christie collection, which is up there behind me, and I'm going to try and fit this on the shelf and whereas Christmas as well, and then my collection will be complete until they bring out some more, which I will hopefully get as well. And then I also have, I've ordered a copy of these Violent Delights because I wanted the spines to match for these Violent Delights and the Our Violet Ends, and this still doesn't match. What I was trying to do was buy the UK hardback, so it had these Violet Delights written down this way, and this is the American hardback, which I was trying to not buy because I already have the Owl Crate version, which has made me very sad that this is wrong. It's pretty underneath though. That's so annoying. It also has a little bit of damage on the back, which is sad, and that, I think that happened in transport. Well, that's really annoying because I ordered this specifically to get the UK hardback, and it is not the UK hardback, which is really sad because it's annoying me that Our Violet Ends is written that way, and I have them stacked behind where the camera is. And it just looks really odd when you have this on the side and then you have Our Violet Ends underneath written horizontally. So I'm gonna have to try and track down a UK hardback, and it's very annoying that this is not it, but I should have been more aware of what I was buying. So it's my own fault, but that's disappointing. But anyway, I'm gonna head off now on that disappointing note, and I will speak to you tomorrow. Hi, it is Saturday evening, and I've actually finished a book since I last spoke to you. So I finished The Poppy War literally just now, so I can take my bookmark out. I listened to the audiobook of this in its entirety, and I literally finished it just as I pulled up this evening after work. So I've been listening to this while I've been driving, and overall I really enjoyed this book. But it really started so strong, and I feel like because it started so strong and it was like a 5-star for the first like 150 pages maybe, and then it kind of just changed so much that I was bound to not enjoy it as much, if that makes sense. Like I feel like it would have been so hard to keep it at that level where I was just really loving it, and it was a 5-star read and a new favourite book. And yeah, there is still like balancing it all out. There is obviously a lot that I loved about this book, but I just wish it had kind of stayed there. Like the start of this book, it was when she was going to the academy and she was facing all of this stuff, and I was just really enjoying the environment of the school and the kind of stuff that she was facing there. The writing definitely changes. I feel like it goes from being like more YA to being a lot more adult towards the end, not only in its themes and focuses because of the kind of genocide and things that kind of come up later in the book being much darker, but also just the writing style in general, and the fact that it goes from being this like school setting to being this like full out political warfare kind of setting, which is not as much for me. I did still enjoy it, and I'm really torn on whether to give this a 4 or a 4.5. I feel like it's kind of somewhere in the middle. I don't know. I feel like it's one of those books that I will look back on and it'll be a 4-star, but right now I just want to give it a 4.5 because I did really enjoy it, and the start of it was really good, but I just wish it had more to it. I don't know what. Like I wish we had more focus on the school, and I wish that had been longer, and I feel like I was expecting that to be the entire book, like her first year of that school be at this in this book, and when we kind of rushed through her entire period of schooling, it did kind of like shock me a bit. I also feel like I should have been more emotional, and I wanted to be more emotional, but I didn't cry, and some sad stuff happened, so yeah, that made me sad. But I don't know, it's either a 4 or 4.5, but I can't decide right now, so I might leave it a few days for it to just like settle and then decide. I feel like it might come out as a 4. I feel like it's closer to a 4 than a 4.5 for me personally, with my personal level of enjoyment of the latter part of the book. But anyway, also reading Twin Crowns and absolutely loving this book. I am this far through, so I'm way over halfway now. And this is just so good. Like, it's very, very different. It's very much YA. It's a lot more romance heavy. But I just love it. It's just so easy to read. I feel like I'm thinking about this book a lot when I'm not reading it. And it's just kind of like what I want right now. Sorry, this is probably really distracting, but it's also really, really pretty. But yeah, so I'm really enjoying this so much. I love that both of the male love interests, because there's 2 twin sisters and they both kind of have this like love interest, and both of them have animals and like animals, and I just think that's great. I'm really enjoying that. Really enjoy the setting, really enjoying the topics. Just there's so much to love about this book. I'm really glad I'm reading it. And it's super quick and easy to read, which I feel like I need right now, so looking forward to reading more of that tonight. I also have another parcel, which is from Blackwell's, but it's not from Blackwell's, it's from Alibris, because I had this weird thing on Blackwell's where I was trying to order this book and I checked the marketplace copies on Blackwell's because they were out of stock, and the marketplace copy said that the cheapest one was from Alibris and it was £30. And I was like, oh, Alibris, I forgot Alibris existed, which is like, it's kind of like a secondhand, not necessarily secondhand, sorry, like a book marketplace, but it's only for books, I think. And it is kind of American based, but they do sell a lot in the UK as well. And you go on there and you just put an ISBN in and what you want or a book you want, and then it'll show you different sellers. So it's just a marketplace, which I quite like. And I've bought a few like rare books on there and found them quite cheap on there, so it's like an Abe books, but I find it a lot better and I've never had a problem with them, whereas I've had problems with Abe books. And the first one on there was Blackwell's and it was £16, and that was just really odd. So Blackwell's were selling it Blackwell's were selling it on their own website through Marketplace at £30, and that was from Alibris, but I went on Alibris and it was selling for £16 and it was Blackwell's that was selling it, and I just found that really strange. So obviously I ordered it from Alibris, but it's come straight from Blackwell's. So very confusing, but a tip if anyone is like looking out there, check Alibris because they do really good prices. And I've never had the wrong edition, but it'll be sod's law that this one's the wrong edition. It's not, it's correct. So I bought myself the American hardback of Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Sue Lynn Tan. I know everyone's been raving about this and it sounds so cool. It's fantasy and it's kind of celestial and it's part set on the moon, I think. Or it's all set on the moon. And I just love the American hardback and the American cover. I know people are raving about the UK cover, and I do love the UK cover, but I didn't get one of the special editions, and I saw this cover and I was like, I actually really like this one. It also feels absolutely gorgeous. I don't know why, it's just really nice. It feels very matte. See what it looks like underneath. Oh, that's so pretty. What a pretty colour. It's purple and it has this little Sue Lynn Tan, I presume that is, SLT on the front, which is very pretty. So yeah, very glad to get this. I know everyone's been raving about it and I've heard nothing but good things, so very excited to read this one. And thank you to Alibris and Blackwell's for I managed to source a copy on there for not too much money, so very happy with that. But yeah, I'm gonna head off now. I'm hoping to read more of this tonight, and then I will update you tomorrow. Hi, it is Sunday and time for the end of this vlog. I hope you've enjoyed watching this vlog. I hope you enjoyed my week of reading. I feel like I've had quite a good week of reading, really. I finished and read most of More Than This on Monday. I finished Song of Achilles on Monday. I've read a lot of The Poppy War, and I've read a lot of Twin Crowns as well, which has been my first read of February, and I'm very nearly at the end of this one. I'm hoping to finish it tonight, but I thought I needed to end this vlog now before I go and have a bath and take my makeup off and stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna finish this one hopefully, but just some like mainly overall thoughts and feelings right at the end of this book. I am really enjoying it. It is so good. I don't think it'll quite be a 5 stars, but it is really close to it. I think it'll be a 4.5. I've just really enjoyed it. Love the relationship between these two sisters that kind of changes and progresses as the book goes on. Love the individuality of the two sisters and their two kind of personalities, and the whole kind of like nature versus nurture of their situation, being one of them being raised in the palace and one of them being raised by witches. I also really like both of the love interests in this. My only kind of complaint is that they do kind of feel a little insta love, but I also can't help but really like them, and I think they're really enjoyable to read about, and I do like the love interests, which obviously helps as well. And I'm just generally enjoying this a lot. Looking forward to seeing how it ends, because I don't actually know how it's going to end, can't really predict it. So yeah, honestly, it's just been really good. I hope you guys enjoy this when it's released in May. It comes out on the 12th of May, has two beautiful Waterstones editions, one that has, they both have spray pages, one that has roses and one that has what might be blue flowers, but I haven't looked at it closely enough, and it might actually be wrens, because I know that one will be for rose and one will be for wren, the same as the proofs were, because I've got a wren copy and there is also a rose copy which is red. I was thinking that if I did pre-order one of the Waterstones copies, I'd go based off my favourite sister, but I honestly have loved both of these. I just really like, I thought like Rose would come across a bit of a bitch, like she's grown up in the palace, and I thought that would probably make her more like pretentious, but honestly I've actually really liked reading about her. I do like Ren, I think she's a badass. I like that these are both kind of female main characters that are brilliant female main characters, and I do have a soft spot for Ren. I think she's probably just about my favourite, but Rose has been really good as well and very different to how I expected, so I am looking forward to seeing the finished copies. I think the blue sprayed edges might have like this design on it, so it might be a wren, because it kind of looks like that. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, they're beautiful either way. But yeah, so that's been my main read this week. I am doing some exciting things next week, going back to uni tomorrow. So right at the start of my vlog, I'll be back at uni working, and me and Alex are going to London as well. So if you want to see that, feel free to check in next week. Thank you for watching this video, and I will see you soon. Bye.